I turn to the man on my right, who I saw for years on Friday Night Lights. Really enjoyed his work also on Leverage. And he was MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton, and he's now the star playing the role of Noah in the John Legend series Underground, about the Underground Railroad that debuts in 2 nights, Wednesday night on WGN America at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Aldis Hodge, good to see you, sir. How are you?
I'm great.
Good to see you.
I'm perfect.
Yeah,
right
you
now,
are, because I know you're a Warriors fan. That yesterday left a little bit of a mark.
I heard. I wasn't able to catch the game, but I heard, and it hurts my feelings so deeply.
I know.
So deeply.
Well, and so you're from the East Coast, though, but you like the Warriors because of...
Well, see, I like to see Steph play, man. I like how he plays, but also I like how he is off the court, you know.
Right.
The way he represents himself, carries himself, he just seems like a good dude, good role model, you know what I mean? But that boy has a wicked skill on the court.
I know, and then yesterday here in Los Angeles, it was, again, I know that you didn't have any eyeballs on it, but I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was definitely one of those days. I mean, we have.
You know, you're allowed one of those days.
Exactly.
You're allowed. But I do believe, didn't he break his previous record for most threes?
Already.
And then he broke it the year before.
Yes.
So he's broken his own record like, what, 2-3 times?
Well, I guess if you're Steph Curry, that's all you have left to do. Is
Exactly.
You get your own records to break.
But you gotta ask, like, when you're that good,
right,
where do you have left to go?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he is the bar.
So if you're from North Carolina, as you say you're from, so then you must be a Jordan guy. Do you think that the Warriors break the Bulls' all-time wins record? I
think it's possible.
Well, they've got 21 games to go,
yeah.
And if they lose 3, they break it. So they got 3 games left that they can lose, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes down to it.
You know, I think it's possible. I do think it's possible.
Me too.
And my fingers are crossed.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, I mean, and again, Steph is just one of those guys, as you point out, that he's relatable. Right?
Yeah.
It's somebody that you think that you've maybe met before, except this guy can shoot threes like nobody's business.
Seems like a guy who doesn't take his skill for granted. But, you know, even, along with Steph, he's a great team leader, but his team is phenomenal, too, because when he's off the court, his team is still putting in work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and that's what I love, because I feel like the camaraderie they have kind of feels like the young Spurs or something like that, because everybody on the Spurs puts in work. It's been my family team for a number of years.
The Spurs has been.
Yeah, yeah. My pop's team, my brother's team, so I kind of fell in there just by, allegiance. But, everybody on that team puts in work. You got Parker, you got Duncan, you got Green. That boy is shooting the lights out. Like,
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi's a beast.
Is a special
Kawhi's a beast.
Talent.
So I feel like they have that sense of team spirit, that team talent, where even when your driver is not on the court, everybody's still pulling weight, you know what I mean?
Right, and the Spurs are now just 2.5 games behind the Warriors right now with 20-some-odd games to go.
Yeah.
If the Spurs and the Golden State Warriors match up in the playoffs, where do you, Aldis Hodge,
I don't know.
Where do you wind up?
I don't know. My house will be a little rocky then, because my brother's automatically going to go for the Spurs, which means to make it interesting, I would have to go for the Warriors.
This is a brother thing.
You know what I mean? I need something to bet on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Probably, win some rent money or something like that from him.
I had Zach Gilford on the show last week.
Really?
Who made this.
Yeah,
he played Saracen in Friday Night Lights. You played Voodoo Tatum.
What
was it like on that set on Friday Night Lights?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, granted, we were shooting in Austin, Texas in August, so, like,
oh my gosh,
we were shooting on the AstroTurf. Our cleats were pretty much taped to our feet. So, the turf was 130 degrees. Our feet were burning. But, no, it was a fantastic time. I was 19. We were all down there just fresh out the box. Yeah,
with
man.
Michael B. Jordan, right? He was there?
No. Mike came afterwards.
He came afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike and Journey, who is now on Underground. Her and Mike worked together.
Right.
And they came a few years after me. But it was all out fun, because Austin definitely is a football town. You live and breathe football down there. There's 6-year-old girls who could tell you more about football than the average 30-year-old man.
Did you ever play football? Did you ever try?
No, I didn't. Man, my sport growing up was martial arts. And I still practice today, you know, even when I'm not supposed to, you know, being on set.
So did you see any of the UFC stuff over the weekend? Did you pay attention?
No, I
to
didn't
stuff?
catch it. It's been a busy time for me this last couple of months,
You're
traveling
traveling around doing this show.
Yeah. So I'm missing a good bit of it, man. I have to catch the highlights, like hearing about the Warriors going down to the Lakers, but it's okay.
Okay, so let's talk about about the Underground Railroad on WGN America. What should people know about this show that you'd like them to know?
Well, they should know that it's really a beautiful action thriller. You know, some people have you know, anticipation of what it might be, but it's completely not what you think. You know, it's an action thriller first, and then after that, it's a psychological thriller because with all the characters, you don't know who to trust, you don't know what they're gonna do, you don't know what's happening around the next turn. You know what I mean? But every character is understood, they're validated, and this is a show that really promotes the strength of these people in this time frame. You get to understand why people think what they think, you get to understand why they rationalize the things they do, but to the core of it, you get to understand true strength and fortitude because you have a group of people, black and white alike, who are fighting for the real nature of what it means to be free, what it really means to be American. So they have to fight together. It's a dangerous time because for their dreams, they can be chastised, put in jail, or killed. But they still know that the overall goal is worth more. So they're willing to do it. And it is a dangerous adventure, man.
So
It's
what's John Legend's role in all this other than just producer?
Well, John Legend and his team over at Get Lifted, it's John Legend, Mike Jackson, Ty Sticklorius. They handle the music. They came in as EPs and they are directing our music. You have legends like Raphael Sadiq who compose, you know, some of the tracks and they come in with all this experience of marrying music to the story.
Right.
Because, you know, music kind of keeps the pulse of a show, a movie, anything. But when you can marry that exact emotion in the music to the emotion that's happening on screen, you know, as an audience member subliminally, it ties you in.
Well, that's what's winning Tony Awards right now on Broadway right now with Hamilton, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Hamilton's ridiculous.
I mean, so...
I'll tell you how I first heard Hamilton.
How?
I was shooting Jack Reacher, right? And we're doing a scene.
You're shooting another one right now with Cruz, right?
Well, we just finished.
You just finished? Okay.
Yeah. So we're shooting a scene. I can't exactly say what, but, you know, we're in a car, and throughout the scene, it's MOS, which means there's no sound. It's just, you know, them catching the action sequence.
Yes.
So there's me, there's Colby Smulders, there's Tom Cruise. We're all in this car. And while we're shooting, we're like, you know, let's get jazz. So we start playing music. You know, at some point, there's Nicki Minaj playing, there's Drake playing, and then all of a sudden, Kobe puts on Hamilton. And we listen to the whole track while we're shooting this sequence. And it is the most brilliant thing that I could have ever experienced. I mean, we had a lot of fun.
Right.
But I got to experience Hamilton, and, you know, in a once-in-a-lifetime situation.
With Tom Cruise.
With Tom Cruise. And we're rocking out to it. But Hamilton is absolutely brilliant. I love it. And I mean, I have an appreciation for Broadway. My brother and I, we used to do a show called Showboat on Broadway. So, you know, that affinity is naturally there. But gosh, what they've done, oof.
Well, and I'm looking forward to this. It debuts Wednesday night, March 9th, WGN America at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And Straight Outta Compton, the success of that film, did it surprise you at all?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I mean, we just wanted to make a good film, and we had this, you know, the monkey on our back was the legacy of NWA, and we didn't want to upset the fans. We didn't want to let them down. And the way people really came out and showed their support was overwhelming because we didn't anticipate any of it. It just kind of validated that we did actually do a decent job, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, we're proud that we made our audience proud, and we couldn't ask for more, man, but it was great. I mean, people are still giving us love, and that's something that you can't buy that experience.
Well, terrific. I appreciate you coming on. Wednesday, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 2 nights' time on WGN America at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Aldis Hodge on Underground. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. You bet. Thank you. Please come back. Please come back. I know you're a busy man.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.